So did you guess what possibly the capstan issue was? Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as it's sort of finishing off this second machine from the two C9s that we were looking at. Turned out to be quite a few things that needed doing to this, like the power supply rebuild, and we've got the front loading system to look at as well. But we sort of left it a bit on a cliffhanger, that one, insofar as we had no head rotation when we tested it, no head rotation, no capstan rotation. And I was thinking, because this board was a replacement board with a blown fuse, I thought, something else is damaged, and I was thinking it was possibly the semiconductor fuse, which will cause the capstan to not work. And yeah, I sort of left it on that cliffhanger. I tested it afterwards, absolutely fine, and then I saw that. I totally missed that. So yes, I do remember, because I'd robbed a couple of resistors off this panel. I was going to use this as a scrap panel. And yeah, of course, I've got another one anyway I can use for parts, because it's actually physically broken. Got broken in machine that got broken in transit. So yeah, so I've gone through my loom collection, and I've actually found the correct cables, not only in connector count, but in colours as well. It must have been, well, I'm pretty sure this is actually from a C9, but it's quite interesting because the original cables, just grab a panel, the original cables go from the connector to various points on the board, and these are actually out of a loom. So yeah, they're using sort of common colour code combinations for different looms. That makes sense, I suppose. At the end of the day, you only have to identify a connector. But yeah, it's actually worked out really well. So I'll be able to link all these up. All of these letters, of course, correspond to points on the panel. So like there's point N. So that'll be coming from there. So yeah, so I need to do all of that, get all of these back connected, and then we can give it a test, and then we can do everything else. So yeah, I won't show me doing this, but yeah, let's crack on. So I've done the rewiring. I'd also chopped out a couple of wires here as well. That's that white one, and there's a black one which is now brown, because I didn't want to cut up this loom if I didn't have to. And so I'm going to turn this on now, and I'm going to keep out the way, so I'm going to turn it on remotely, and yeah, that way you've got a clear view to see if anything goes pop or there's smoke, any magic smoke. Okay, so I'll power it on. Oh, we've got some head rotation, that's a good start. That's more than we were getting. Yeah, we're looking good so far. So let's press play, see what happens. Okay. Very noisy bearings. So yeah, I think this bit of the cassette is actually damaged anyway, so yeah, it's not great, but certainly could do with a clean. The fact that the bearings are noisy is a bit worrying. Oh, there we go. That is quietening down. Oh, cool. Okay. Somebody did mention in the comments, I'll put the comment up actually, about one of the big concerns is the head transformers. So under the head disc and under the what they mount to, there's a transformer, rotary transformer, and the glue that holds the coils in can fail, and that will cause the coils to sort of lift up and they foul, and you'll get like sparklies on the picture. And luckily I've only seen that a couple of times, and I managed to get around it. I thought that I thought the machine was going a bit crazy, but no, it's actually on the video. So yeah, that is a real concern. I mean, I'm going to keep this machine for the foreseeable future anyway, and it will get quite a lot of use. I'm actually really pleased with that. That board was good, and I remember why I borrowed the leads actually. It was for to repair an F30 that had a cracked baseboard, and yeah, it had sort of got quite smashed, and I wanted to use this type of cable because again it's quite stiff, but it's multi-core, so it moves quite nicely. Yeah, sort of regretting that now because I've got loads of looms since, because I've scrapped machines, but hey ho. So that's working pretty well. I'm quite pleased with that. Still's really good, isn't it? Wow. Struggling to go. Oh yeah, it is moving back. It does need a jolly good clean. It will need some alignment as well, although to be fair, it's doing very well. This of course isn't, I'm sort of forgetting this, it's not the original board. So yeah, it's actually really rather good. Cool. Okay, so next thing is I need to look at the power supply. Just track that over, because I'm sure that will need some TLC, and obviously I want to keep this machine reliable as well. So we'll get and do that next, but the next section will be recorded in a couple of days' time, so I'll probably forget I've said all of this. Because I have a whole load of iPads to do, so I'll get those done, and then I'll be returning to this, and yeah, but I'm really chuffed with that. That's a really good result. Couple of days on, and waiting for stock, so let's crack on with this. Let's get this power supply out, and I'll give everything a clean as I go as well. You can see it has been in the moisture, which is not ideal. There we go. Right, smashing. So I might start, well, I'll take this board off first. So long one there, the other three are short, and let's free off this panel. Actually, sure do I? No, I don't. So there's two more screws in there. Don't need to take those out, so that's cool. They'll just come out. So let's get the back off. Little self tappers. Let's put those with that. I am sort of organising the screws as I go along, sort of. There we go. So it's certainly got a bit hot and bothered in there. So next thing I'm going to have to do is get the heatsink off. So I've got 4 screws there. Maybe these will play ball a bit better. Oh, I'm not using a better screwdriver actually, but anyway. Okay, so they're all long screws. And then heatsink compound on the back there. Let's put those screws with the heatsink. And this should slide out. There we go. With its plastic shield. Give it the double insulation. Just be a bit careful. I mean, Sony stuff's generally pretty good for bleed resistors, but you never know. Okay. So it's going to be those 2 caps and probably those 2. This one invariably will be fine. Needs a jolly good clean up. But otherwise, I think we should be okay. Don't think this has ever been worked on. There's a spot of solder there. But yeah, I don't think this has ever been apart, so that's cool. Just for the sake of completeness, I mean, it's been off a couple of days as well, so... But, so I wouldn't expect really anything on here. Yeah, nothing. So, super. Got the 10 volts, 47 microfarad, so I can replace those. They're going to be bipolar. So I can replace those with the ceramics, which will be good, so they'll never fail again. And then just the 2, what actually are they? Can I see without taking them out? Yeah, 4.7 microfarad, 350 volts. So they quite commonly will go short, leak all their contents out. So yeah, interesting. So let's crack on. So just looking at this, it's got 12 volts E, 12 volts M, and I'm assuming that's mechanical and electronics. And I think the only reason they split those rails is primarily to stop noise from one getting to the other. Because there's a couple of inductors there, so that's quite interesting. But it's a nice little power supply, really. And yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to do the other electrolytics, to be honest. So we've got 1,000 there, 1,000 there. That's interesting. That's 1,000 there, 16 volts. And we've got 1,000 there, 16 volts. So 2 different types of capacitor, different sizes as well, for the different purposes. That's quite interesting. 105. So this is an 85 degree, and this is a 105. Interesting. And then there's 22 microfarad, 100 volt one there. I assume that needs to be 100 volts as well, for a faulting condition. And then there's 2 here. There's 100 microfarad, 100 microfarad, 16 volts, and .33 microfarad at 16 volts. So, okay, well, I probably will do those as well. I probably won't show it, but I'll show the finished result. Let's crack on. So all the caps are done. It wasn't really that many, to be fair. I did test them, and they all checked out pretty okay. The 47 microfarad bipolar ones was slightly dubious, and the 33 microfarad 16 volt one, which is that one, that was actually showing real signs of becoming a little bit dodgy. But yeah, all done. So we've got Kemet caps. So I think these are 125 degrees C maximum working temperature. So they'll do well. And these are 105. They're all 105 apart from those two. And then the thing that always throws people out, bipolar ones are not on the top, they are on the bottom. I have checked that it, because they're quite thick, quite a bit of height to them, and I have checked that the plastic shroud comfortably fits over there, which it does. I've cleaned off the silicone grease. I've given it a bit of a clean. It's quite grubby up here. You can see it's polished that maybe a little bit too much. It sort of looks a bit wrong, but anyway, it's inside the power supply and inside the can, so it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, it's pretty well cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm going to put this back together. Obviously put some heatsink compound on there, and I'll replace that as well, and then we'll give it a test. Let's crack on. So back together and giving it all a pretty good clean. Still that cross on there. Just wonder if that was like, oh, it's wet, bin it. Anyway, don't mind this bit too much. I haven't cleaned there yet, because obviously this is separate from this panel. But yeah, that's looking really good. Polished the back metal of the power supply as well, and found screws for the end of the power supply. These are the large, or if you like, the standard machine screws for here and here, rather than the small screws. But yeah, it's cleaned up pretty well. I do get a bit nervous about the plastics of some of these connectors, because they are starting, well, in some machines anyway, they're starting to become quite brittle. But these are fine, even though they're tarnished. I mean, if they look a bit yellow, then you might have a problem, but these are just tarnished from smoke. It's obviously been in a slightly smoky atmosphere at some point, as well as a damp one. So yeah, but they're all good. They're all solid. I did check them. I did give them a clean. And I did also remember, which is very important, the grounding strap. Make sure that's put on, because you don't want that floating about if you forget. So yeah, that's really cool. Cleaned all the button and the vertical lock, and even cleaned the, not perfectly, but the mains cable. It's actually come up pretty well. I even managed to get some paint off it. But yeah, really pleased with that, to be honest. Now, I was going to change these, and that probably will happen at another time, but I'm not going to worry about that now. It's only cosmetic. It's only for me. So yeah, but I probably will do it as and when I feel like it. So yeah, I suppose the next thing now is to sort out this front loading system and try and make one good one that isn't rusty and corroded and horrible. It seems a shame, because it's actually working really well, but yeah, it needs to be sorted. Let's crack on. Okay, so I thought it would be more fun to do the front loading system before we do the power on test. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, let's have a look at this front loading system, see if we can tidy it up. So first thing I'm going to do is take the front off. Okay, well, I've just had some foam fall out, so let's get rid of that. It's gone completely to powder. It's actually not too bad. I'll be interested to see what the buttons are like when we finally do give it a full test. Because I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they're going to be dodgy. It's surprising. It doesn't seem to make any sense. What makes them go? But anyway, so next thing. First thing I'm going to do, because I always forget to do it, there is a linkage from the front loading system, and you need to pull off a little clip and free it, because if you don't free it, it can sometimes drag it with it anyway and end up bending the metal. So interestingly, one of the screws is already out, and in fact pretty much all the screws are out. So let's just wind this in. In on each side, and it will just go by itself. You can sort of put a little bit of force behind it just to help wind it in. Makes it easier to get to the screws. I'm really hoping I've got some of these. I'm sure I have, and I've already removed the TU24 panel because the other part, the hinge for it, one part's on the power supply, as we know, and the other side goes onto the front loading system. So that's all free. And I forgot the other connector. So there we go. Yeah, I mean, I'm always tempted. Do I want to recycle this? I don't know whether I do, because it's all a bit grotty. I have got a complete one, but I think it's got plastic gears on, so we can change the two gears. I can see there's a bit of thread lock in them, which hopefully won't present too much of an issue. We'll change the gears, and we've got a good front loading system. So yeah, I think that's going to be my course of action. Okay, so I've dug the other one out. The linkage then is missing. It's fallen off. Clips onto there. So that's fine. I can just I'll say it clips on. It sort of swings round and goes on. So that's fine. I can take that off the other front loading system. So that's fine. I have to change the gears. This has got quite dusty, and I noticed also that the springs for the door have come adrift, and the one part of it is actually bent as well. So I'll straighten that out. Let's do that now while I think of it. But those springs will have to be put back on. From what I can remember, this is fully working, but it has got the plastic gears. So I'd like to change those, which is quite fun because I've never done them sort of on their own then. I mean, I've done plenty where I've changed the plastic gears for more plastic gears. And those radio control gears you use for the lacing assembly, they can be repurposed or reused, or used rather, on here, and they work fine. Use some araldite because the araldite deals with the flat. But yeah, it's going to be a lot better. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to clean all this up. The other thing as well is the deck itself. You can just see, I mean, it's just really just so grubby. I say grubby, it's from moisture. So I'm going to use Rocket Just see if that will improve things. Just cleaning the front panel, and I did the daft thing that you never do, but I got distracted. So I sprayed the front with some foam cleanser and got distracted, left it, and of course it's got underneath the perspex, and you can see the moisture there. So and I thought, oh no, it's so annoying. To get this out, to clean it properly, you need to break all of these plastic rivets, and it comes out from the back. If you try and pry it out from the front, it won't happen. So at some point I probably will do that. The reason I say that, because obviously this was quite poor, and you can still see the little spots from where the moisture's caused the copper content to come through the paint. But again, this pops out. Now the rest of it, I mean, there's a couple of marks on it, but it's actually not a bad front panel. So I'm sort of thinking I've got quite a few really rubbish ones, so I will probably take one of these off one of those and replace that, and then do the same for this. Now I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll probably just do a short dedicated video to doing that, taking one of these apart, just because I also need to see if I have actually got a decent one of these, because I have got quite a few that I've collected over the years. So if there's one better, I'll just swap it over in the fullness of time. If I haven't, then I'll do a video showing how to pull one of these apart and put it back together, give it a thorough clean and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I forgot all about that, and I've got caught out before doing that. It will probably dry not too bad, but it will bother me. And yeah, it will need to be sorted really, just to get it to look good. But yeah, there we go. Let's crack on. So things have transpired. One thing I did forget with these metal gears, the grub screw, especially when it's got Loctite on it or other similar sort of substance, the screw heads are really brittle, and they just break off. And that indeed is sort of what's happened. I think I can probably do something, but what I'm going to do is because this is my machine as well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put this front loading system in. I don't know how good this will be. Just notice that's bent as well. But when I put it to one side, it was working. Main problem is it's been floating about, and yeah, I don't know how good it's going to be. But I do have loads of spares as well, so I think what I'll do, because I've done a few front loading system, sort of specific front loading system videos, I will do a specific front loading video for the C9, and we'll try and make a couple if we can. I mean, it'd be great if we could, and just keep them for repairs and stock and whatever. So we did have the issue with this one that we were missing the arm. So easiest way to do that is pull the clip off and lift up the whole arm, and then I've already done a clip on this one, lift it up, and the arm comes off. If you turn it right the way round, you can actually lift it off. I'm not going to do it, but so let's put that back in, and there is a groove. You'll be able to see that there's a little groove in there. I'll take a picture, and it sort of just locates in there, and jobs are good. And put the clip back on, and we're good to go. So like I say, I'm hoping this will be okay. I've just got my doubts, but it's going to be a lot better. I did change the door, and the spring can be a bit fun as well, so I just had to flick the spring round to get it so it's properly tensioned. Only reason I changed it was this one's got a bit of a distortion in it. So, well, I've got so many bits, I might as well make it nice. Okay, so here it goes. Still not altogether convinced about using this, but anyway, it is tidier, and hopefully it will do the job. And you don't have the best view, I know, but one day when I have millions of subscribers, might be able to afford multiple cameras to do multiple angles. Living the dream. I think we're somewhere near. I'm still dubious whether this is going to work, but hey ho. What slightly concerns me is the unlock mechanism. I don't think that's unlocking when it should, or unlocking properly, but anyway, we'll see. If it's clunky, then we know we've got an issue. So yeah, time to give it a test. Really intrigued to see how this performs. Let's crack on. So far so good. And that seems happy. Yeah, that's front loading system. I did wonder. Oh, that's a shame. What do? Do I try and fix the old one, or I'm sort of tempted to put the other one back in, and we'll do a bit of a special on the C9 front loading systems. I have done others. I don't think I've done a C9 one. I'll have to check. But I'm sort of tempted to put the other one. Like I say, this is my machine, so. And I mean, its primary purpose is really just to get things up and running and test other boards, and yeah, just use it really for all sorts. So okay, what I'll do is I'll change the front loading system back over to the old one, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Let's crack on. Okay, so I swapped it over, and I've changed at least the top plate there. It looks a bit better. I mean, it's not going to cause an issue. It just looks horrible. I had to put new tape on, and obviously the foam pads as well have been done. So yeah, I did notice that the VFD, I mean, it's not bad, but it is a bit tired. So yeah, but overall, it's actually not come out too bad. I'm happy enough with it. The mistake I made with getting foam cleanser under the display plastic, luckily I got away with it. It's actually really clean and tidy under there, so it can't have been too contaminated, because what can happen is when it's contaminated behind the perspex sheets, it will leave a residue mark, and I barely have anything, so I'm really pleased with that. I feel very lucky to have got away with that. So yeah, cool. So let's give it a try. I did just do a quick check on the alignment on the servo side, and it really does seem absolutely fine. I couldn't find anything particularly far off, which is great, and just shows just how consistent Sony were with their parts, really. It's really quite impressive. So rewind and fast forward and the start capture. So head bearings still noisy, unsurprisingly. I'll see how they go, and I'll put an update on the video sort of in a couple of weeks' time or whenever. Just how those bearings sort of panned out and how the whole machine went, really, because I'm going to use this a little bit now. I do have to test the other one, which I still haven't had time to do because it's another busy time of year. So just notice that cable management isn't quite right. So 2 wires need to go into the plastic there, and then that one comes across there. We're all good there. Got screws. There was a screw missing there actually, which it's fine ultimately. Better if it's there, but with it there, it's actually quite hard to run the front loading system motor. So yeah, I understand why you would take that out. Oh dear, yeah. His bearings are certainly freeing themselves up. So yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with it. It's working well enough. I will do a separate video just on front loading systems, and we'll try and make at least one up out of all the scrap and bits and pieces. The one I took out, I did actually spend a bit of time looking at that, and what's happened is one of the plastic gears, where it goes on to the cog, it's the one for the front, for the moves the basket down and up. It's actually cracked right the way along, and it's slightly out of alignment. But I think the actual front loading system itself is a tooth out as well. It just didn't seem to really quite sort of work as it should. I sort of did the old trick of, taking it out, running it on a book on the side just to test it, but nah, it really was not good. So let's just try this still. It's not bad. I might have to track that in a bit slow. Yeah, so other way. Let's give it some. I mean, I haven't done a full clean of the tape path yet. But there's that head drum motor. Really not good. Let's just do the V-lock. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So yeah, I'm relatively there we go. Relatively pleased with it. I mean, well, it's working well. It's certainly seen life, and I don't doubt there'll be other issues with it just because it has been in the damp. And I'm hoping those head motor bearings will be okay. I do have another complete drum. I have several actually. I mean, ordinarily, I probably, because I've got some later upper drums, I would like to change it for a later upper drum, because they're harder. It's just a harder alloy, and it'll last longer. But this actually hasn't had a huge amount of use, I don't think. So, yeah, really, really pleased with it. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out for the front loading system video. That'll be quite fun. It's been a while since I've done those. So yeah, I'll be a bit confused and bemused. So with that, bye for now.